Welcome to Honest Whispers Review. On this video I'll be reviewing Marvel Premier Collection Psylocke Resin statue from Diamond Select Toys. It was released back in late 2008. Just received this earlier this year, but then I've been having problems with the statue. This is actually the third replacement, and originally I was doing a unboxing video, but I ran out of footage and just didn't make sense to edit from there. So since I have it out, the statue came out beautifully and great. I bought it from Big Bad Toy Store. Can't be grateful enough, can't thank them enough. This is because once again this is the third one. The first time, and this is the certificate of authenticity, number 1278 out of 3000, sculpted by Alejandro Pereira. Now, first time, this whole thing right here, the arrow and the flame, was, before I even took it out, like, it was completely detached, and you could see where the flame was and everything. So obviously I took pictures, showed them, no hassle, no problems on the exchange. Second time, this was, the arrow was basically pretty much loose, and there were some couple tips of the flame that was broken off. So that was stuck on the back. Both boxes did show damage. The first one did have a huge crease, so somebody must have dropped it or dropped something heavy on it. And then the second box did have a huge dent on that as well. So usually that's not a good sign, especially something like this, because the base is very heavy. So something like that usually has, when you drop something like this, usually that's not good. And it looked like the arrow was stuck on the bag. And even this one, it was very close. Unfortunately, the bag, they try to make it tight, so they wrapped the bag and kind of tucked it in. So very happy that this one is not damaged or anything like that. I did do a full inspection. So since I had it out, I figured, you know what, might as well do a review on it. So the first category I go with is design, and usually covers the concept and pose. And the concept of this is actually an old picture of, that Jim Lee drew on a X-Men trading card that I really liked. It wasn't from an actual comic book. Now, there are some differences from what I recall. I think she was holding a katana, which looks like she is holding a katana, but you could see that they didn't sculpt the katana either on the box or anything like that, so I'm not missing a piece or anything. Now, pose is very dynamic. She's in the middle of a fight. She's being attacked. You can see the flaming arrows. Very nicely done overall. I'm very happy with the pose and the concept. The base, I'm surprised they did so much on the base, because the base is so, there's so much more detail, I think, on the base than her. It's kind of ridiculous, because if you look from the side, every little thing, just like an old school Japanese roof and building, and it has some damages and just has an old school look to it. And you can see closely here, that's underneath the flame. There's, roof is white, that's kind of where the glue is. But anyways, even the wood, the way it's chipped and stuff like that, so much details, very nicely done. The concept, design, everything's nice. I guess since it's based on Jim Lee's art, he would be kind of the designer, and it is sculpted by Alejandro, so definitely both of them nice work. Of course, with the statue, that's mostly Alejandro's doing, because unless they asked Jim Lee to draw different aspects or perceptions, because So anyway, rather than going into the process of making statues, just want to go over extra. Look over here, the details on the roof. I mean, even the colors, just everything's done well. So on the design itself, even the way her hair is flowing and her belt is flowing, definitely realistic look to it. I'm very happy. I don't see any damages or flaws. So I'm more happy about that, because once again, this is the second replacement, the third statue I got. So this is the design, perfect, 10 out of 10. Will probably end up being one of my favorite Psylocke statue of all time. And let's see, so the next category is sculpting, and that's usually the execution from the art to this, and also usually it could be the molding, the quality, little things like that. So as you can see on the details, hair is nicely done. A lot of it is very nicely sculpted. It does get a bit rough here at the end. Now, it may not be the sculptor's fault. It could be the molding or the cast itself that they molded out of. So, still, I have no huge problems with that. Psychic knife done really well. Everything's done really well. This one, I noticed the arrow on this one slightly crooked. Doesn't really bother me, because even back then they had crooked arrows, so I don't know if it's meant to be like that. Belt nicely done. Right here when it's together, the molding's a bit rough. It looks like the belt melted on each other, so a bit of a minus on that. Face is, you know what, nicely sculpted. You could see how the hairline doesn't, really, or the hair itself doesn't really invade. So it looks like it might be two pieces. And even on the ear, very nicely sculpted. So let me go back to that view. Here under the armpit, that is a bit deep, even if it's supposed to be kind of a dimple. So it comes out more like a mistake. Now her costume has been sculpted, so it's not just flat and smooth. Feathers on the arrow, or quivers. Very nicely detailed. Flame looks very realistic. They did one of those the translucent type of plastic, so it's kind of a see-through. And as I showed before, hand, overall, the fist and everything, nicely sculpted. The proportions very good. Now on the palm itself, couple weird wrinkled lines, so not always the sculptor's fault. Could be the molding, especially in those small areas like that. Although I have to say, when the inside of the fist, those fingers, I mean, they got that really done well. So I question why you can't get the palm more smoother. Belly, bosoms, everything well proportioned. Of course, muscle definition, very nice. Not too much, not too little. And then the butt is very nicely sculpted, proportioned. And you can see in a position like this, uses a lot of butt muscle, especially when you do squats and stuff. So kind of has that look to it. So very nice, realistic look. Sculpting, for me, I mean, especially when you look at all the details on the roof, I mean, it's well deserving of a 10, but again, it is reserved for something that's completely perfect. And as you can see, when you look up close, those minor little flaws, it just, you know, hurts it a little bit. It just doesn't have completely, I mean, it's alright, but sculpting, few areas, like I said, like the hair and stuff. If I could get a better focus. Yeah, it could have been done a little bit better. Maybe bring out the tip a little bit sharper, because like right here, it looks like hair is being added. So it doesn't. So anyway, definitely nicely done. So sculpting, a 9 out of 10. Next category is painting. Painting overall, the colors are great, colors are right, very nicely done. It is all basically matte finish. Now they did add some tint of like black or gray to add the shadings, the shadows, and even muscle definition, and a bit of a shine effect to her costume. So that's nicely done. I would have liked the glossy finish better, but so overall, when you look from the far, looks pretty much great. Now, of course, when you look from close up, you can see how on the edge of the costume, color borders, you know, the skin color goes up on it. This kind of has a weird look. I even show you on the other side. And even right there, not straight lines. Blue overlapping some of the red right there on the belt. Wiggly lines. Even right there on a leotard right there on their hips. Wiggly lines. And right there, kind of skin color really invading that panty line right there. You noticed some kind of a paint chipped or something, which I don't care at all, but can't really even see it. Or unpainted. Looks like they kind of missed it, or maybe when they were putting that on, somebody kind of scraped that edge. No big deal, as long as this is good. Now, her eyes, usually one of the most important things. Looks straight, symmetrical. There's no googly eye or anything like that. Although I did notice on one of the statues on the forum, either on the internet or something, one had an eye kind of cross-eyed, and then I seen one where one of the eyeliner kind of dipped or something on the line. Look right here on the top. That's pretty rough. The liner length, not even straight. Look at the rough edge. So pretty bad job on the quality. Roof is great, so I think somebody else kind of painted the roof. Almost flawless. Borders are clean. Right here, maybe right there, just slight line bordering on the dark brown. But because the line's straight, it's really hard to notice. So everything here, even the wood right there, they have that realistic wood paint look where you have the black in the creases. So the painting could have been a lot better. A lot better. Because look at that. A lot of wiggly lines. Just makes it look kind of sloppy. So, but still, I'm happy with it. And as you can see, that's more like when you look at close. When you look from afar, it's harder to notice. So the painting, I'm going to be giving it an 8 out of 10. And for the value, usually I try to do something older, but since I was inspecting and doing an unboxing video that unfortunately got cut off. I don't know how high the value will go up, but out of my experience looking at the statue, the edition size is pretty small, 3,000. To me, that's more on the smaller side. 5,000 is average. Anything higher is usually too much. So value doesn't go up as high. So the value for this was like 130. I think you could still find it for around that price. Once it's sold out by the main stores, will probably go up, start going up. I could see this definitely go up in the aftermarket value. I'm tempted to buy a second one, but yeah, I could see this maybe 5-10 years from now definitely double in value, maybe up to like 250, no problem. So the value, I don't want to be biased again, but still, out of all the Psylocke statues that I've seen, own, and comparing it to even other character statues, this is definitely one of the top ones. And it's not too expensive too, so it doesn't start off high like certain statues where it's already like $300-400. So this one, I give it a high 10 out of 10 on the value. So going on the overall, remember, this is a very fragile statue. I mean, you can see all the intricate parts, the arrows, the flames. This isn't really that durable, especially the way her feet and everything is. So I'm surprised they didn't do this in 2 pieces. So I could see a lot of statues breaking and stuff like that. I already returned 2. So basically that means 2,998 statues. That's in good condition, and I'm sure there's more out there that's broken. So value gonna be up. Painting, I mean, I'll be honest, I mean, it is a lot of sloppy work, but overall I'm happy with it. So I mean, I could have ended up giving it a 7 out of 10 on the painting. I'm gonna stick with an 8 because it's still good overall. And for the sculpting and the design, very high scores. So for me, the overall, I'm gonna give the overall a 9 out of 10. So to recap, design 10 out of 10, sculpting 9 out of 10, painting 8 out of 10, value 10 out of 10, and overall 9 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Until next time.